Hello everyone. Now we are looking at the week 3 level 2 exercise. So here is the exercise. So for this week, the first exercise is to install IntelliJ IDEA. So I suppose you have done this already, and then the demonstration start from exercise to build a simple Java application. We start IntelliJ here, right? And then we can create new project. New project here is start location, right? I have already started location here. Otherwise, you can change the location by click here to change the location. I have already defined here the week 2 lab, right? Put this location. And the first exercise, hello world. So we just use IntelliJ build, right? Create Git repository, JDK 2021, right? Java. So that's the option. Great. All right. So this is the the simple Java application. Once you created already have set up everything here. Look at the folder structure, and this is the main file. That's Java file main.java. And this is breakpoint, and you click here, you can start to run this program, right? Okay, so that's the running result. The hello and welcome print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one is the breakpoint. If you click this one, it's debug mode. It's going to be run stop at this point. So that's the debug. So you can run step by step. Step over, right? Okay. So you use this to stop the debug mode. Okay, so look at this Java program. This is the main class, and this is the entry point, the public static void main. So that's starting point. Here is the program. We can delete all the code here. Only leave this empty one, and system out print ln. So let's print out hello world, right? And we need to have a semicolon. We can remove the breakpoint. Okay, so this program, we run this. Okay, print out hello world, right? So this is the first exercise for the simple create hello world application using IntelliJ with the default IntelliJ build. And now we try to use the JavaFX demo, right? The JavaFX, so that is the external platform that used with Java to build GUI applications, right? We use the Maven build. Now we demonstrate how to do that. Come to this Java stuff, we create a new project. Right? Create a new project. We still under this directory lab, right? Week 2 lab. Okay, we create this project with a name called, here we call it JavaFX demo, right? We just use this name. And remember, we use Maven build, right? So the difference between the Maven build and the IntelliJ build is the Maven build, this one can be used by different IDEs to support that, and easier to be used for the GitHub project, right? Okay, and this part is advanced setting. This has a group ID and the artifact name ID. Your default is the name of this name, and the group ID here I input as org or OSD. Usually, if you by yourself, usually there will be something like example by default here, but you can change it to your group ID, right? I use OOSD for this course name and create. We just use this window. Okay, so this time we create this with the Maven build. So the difference between the Maven build and the IntelliJ build is, for the Maven build, they have a file called pom.xml. So this one control how this project is going to be defined. So this is XML file, right? So if we want to use Maven, so you also look here, they have a Maven symbol, right? If we want to use Maven, we need to modify this file, right? In order to use IntelliJ, and in this situation, if you try to run, look at here, if you try to run here, so that's not IntelliJ directly because it's default running this, and it's not Maven. So if you want to run Maven, you need to go through this part, right? Through this left cycle. Okay. So click this one to disable this. So the first step is we try to modify this. Therefore, it support JavaFX. So to change this is not so easy. So the easiest way to do that is we just go to the GitHub, try to find my GitHub directory, right? github.com larry@geo, right? This is my GitHub page. And come to here, you look at the repositories, and one of them is JavaFX demo, right? Click here. So this is a demo JavaFX project. Okay, so I probably shrink this. And look, this part, we have this file, right? Look at this folder, the structure for the Java project. Once you upload it to the GitHub, the structure should look like this, right? So I have a README file. I haven't added anything here yet, but it's okay. And also on the root directory, they have pom.xml, .git ignore, right? And I also have source main Java org, something like this. So the structure is like this. Now we need to copy the file from this one. So this is the file. We just copy this file and then come to this one, paste. Okay, paste from there. Here we need to have a check, see if this file is already. Oh, look here, this part okay, and this is JavaFX demo or OSD, right? It's okay. So this is what the same as what I have said before. So it's okay. If it's different, you probably need to modify this part. So that's okay, right? Options. So this use JavaFX, right? So this part we don't need to change. You only need to look at this part, make sure it's consistent with your setting of your project. And look here, this OpenJFX. Okay, so this part you don't need to change. Come to here. This section is dependency, property dependency, and this part is build, right? For build, for running, you need to use this section. This OpenJFX, right? This okay. And look, this part, this is the main class OSD, right? So that is the same as what we have said before here, right? So that's good. So if this is different, you probably need to change to consistent with your setting, and the main class is main, right? Okay, this part's Apache Maven plugin, Maven Java. So this one we don't need to change. And here is the same, so that's the main class. We need to change that consistent to what in your project. Okay, so this is all right. After we have changed this one, and then we can go to Maven, and we can use this in lifecycle building, right? Click here, right? Click here and click this one. Look at the Maven build, right? So this is the Maven build. Okay, so this clean, that means clean the previous build. Usually we can go directly to the package, this package part. Okay, and you run this one. Okay, sorry, it should be this one. And this one, the build. Okay, the build. After the build successfully, they create another folder. So this folder called target, right? This folder is called target. So under this one, you can see all the files created. So this, particularly this jar file, right? So this one is executable. Okay, so this is the package going to create. And one thing I like to mention is about the git ignore, because for this course, you not only build the application on your local computer, you need to push this onto the GitHub and share with other team members. In that way, when you share the same project, some file is under your local computer should not be shared with others because this hold your local environment, right? So we need to look at the git ignore, right? Click here. The git ignore lists the files that we don't want to share with other people because they contain the local environment. Okay. So everything here are already here, but there's only one thing we probably want to add is under the idea directory. So look here, we have workspace.xml, right? Workspace.xml. We look at here idea mode. Okay, there's no workspace. There's no workspace here, right? So we probably need to add that in. Just add workspace. Okay, we add this one. So make sure this one is not controlled by the not controlled by the GitHub. So this one will not come to GitHub. Okay, so for the JavaFX project, if we want to run this one, we cannot use here directly at this stage. We need to come to the Maven and in the plugin part and look at the plugin part. We have, okay, probably need to reload this one because we have changed this file, right? We changed the XML file. Because we have changed that, we reload this. We look here, we have the JavaFX, right? Before that, we don't have JavaFX. Now we have JavaFX. Click here, we have this JavaFX run. We double click this one to run this. Application. So, right, so this build and run this application. Another way to run this application is we go to this part. And because we have already created the target directory, we can use, look at this, we can use Java jar, right? And we run target directory and what's the file name to look at? The file name is JavaFX, right? Okay, so this is also the way to run this project. But because we haven't changed the source code yet, so it's still something like the hello world. Now we need to look at the main Java file, right? We need to change this to include uh, the JavaFX stuff. Okay. All right, so include this for the JavaFX stuff. So the easiest way to do that is still come to the directory. Here we look at this demo project. We have the main Java, right? Click this one. We have this, and we copy this file and onto this control override. Okay. We remove this breakpoint. Now we have a quick look. So the package is still this one, right? We import JavaFX applications. So we have the main class and the extend applications, right? For this project, I've already set up to look in the IntelliJF part preference here, and also in the editor. I think it's in the let's look at import. Okay, in the editor general auto import, right? So here they have add an ambiguous import on the fly. That means if we want to use some Java classes in the library, so we just need to type in this one automatically to import that, right? So for example, if we don't have the labels, right? So suppose if we don't have these labels and we have new label. And come to, sorry, this one. Okay, more action. I think this should be automatically to add the label here, right? Import class. Okay, they import the label from here, right? So they import labels, right? Yes. So that is the way. Therefore, for most of the code, you don't need to worry about manually to import these files. You can automatically import. So this class extend application, the public static void main. So it's entry point for your project, right? We need to launch X, right? Launch X because this extend application, so they already automatically have this function launch X, right? You don't need to write this method. The system this method within, and we need to override the start function, right? And in this part, we have label. Please input your name, text field, new text field, button, stack pen. We have this element and put this in this panel, right? In this panel, this stack pen. So that is the simplest pen. Everything just put in there. So we get children, the root. So this root get children. Add all this component, or they call nodes, into this panel. Okay. And also we have a function defined for the button. So button on set on actions. So this is a lambda expression. Later on we're going to explain, but this generally means we have event. When it's happened, we just try to do something. This probably not really necessary. We can remove them out. Okay. Once happened, we label. So this label is this one. We set text hello, and the input here, input get text here, right? And for this three element, we need to put in the panel, right? Stack panel, we set different location, otherwise they will stack on each other, right? So if we look here, if we don't do this one, we just run this application, right? So we run this application through here, Maven, and come to this one, right? This plugin Maven FX, we double click. Okay, we run this application. Okay, see, we have this button, we have this input field, and the label is disappeared. The reason is all them in this panel, they put in the same location, right? So the later one is going to overwrite the previous one, right? So to prevent this, we use this function, right? We put the label at the top center, right? And also the input in the center, and also the button at the bottom center, right? Just that way. And the scene, so this is this just like the dialogue part, so like the window. Here is the size, right? The width is 400, it is 200, right? And the premier stage, so this is the outside window of this application set scene. So this is just the first layer, right? And they add scene of this part. This primary stage comes from here as a parameter, right? We don't need to worry, the system automatically get this. Set scene, this one, and set title, and the prime stage show, right? So this is something we can look at the application. Okay, now we have this label, we have the text. If we put this Larry, click here, hello Larry, right? So that's what this application doing. Okay, of course we can also run this application through here. This application is Java, right? Oh no, this is not right because we haven't rebuilt the application yet. So we need to package, rebuild this one. So rebuild this, after we rebuild, and we run this application. Okay, right. So in this way, they could not find all of the main class. Okay, so because once you run this, they have the package here, right? But your package cannot run directly. The reason is this package only contain the Java file of this part, and this need to have the external libraries from those sections, but they are not available in this stage. Therefore, you cannot run this directly. Similarly, if you try to run here, it also will not work, right? Will not work. The reason is the package is not available for them. they are added in the Maven. So the only way to run that is through the Maven run, right? So the problem with the Maven run is you cannot use the debug function, right? So if you try to set a breakpoint here, and if you run this, it will not uh, stop at this point, right? So all the debug function will not work, right? So that's the issue. So in order to make this debug available, make here be able to run this application, you need to come to here to add this one to add a new build, right? Application. Okay, application, and you probably set a name. So the okay, create name, and here you need to set the main class. Okay, main class, and now we need to have a very important part is we need to modify this option, but this is not easy, right? The reason is in order to do all of this, you need to firstly download this package. Okay, come to the website. It's called JavaFX. Okay. You need to download this package, right? Okay. Okay, come to this JavaFX. Download here. You need to select your version. So we select the long support version, right? Long-term support version, and operating system depend on what your system, Windows or whatever, depend on your architecture of your CPU, right? If you use the Mac, see here they have the JTK, right? We just download the JTK. So download this one. So once you download this one, you put it into somewhere, right? So for my case, I put that one on the look at. Okay. Okay, I put that at this point, at this part, the JavaFX SDK here, right? So depending on the version you put in this part. But of course, you can put it in some other location on your computer as you wish, right? And if you need to download and put that into your system first, and then you come to let me see, where is okay, come to here, create this, and also need to modify add virtual machine, right? So here I just show here add virtual machine options, right? We have this one. So now okay, and then once we come here, we need to add this here, right? So here we come to look at our slide, add to this part, module path, the directory, and also add modules, this one, right? So I probably copy this command to here. right? So we can here, right? The module path. So this library Java, JavaFX SDK, right? So depending on your computer system, you see where it is. Add this, come to here, right? Okay. All right. So after that, you are able to run this one through here, right? So you can through here, and also you can use debug from here, right? See, it stopped at this point, and then you can doing the debug operations, right? And continue. Okay, so this part is optional because for some people they like to use the debug function. For some programmers they never use debug function. They just use the printout, try to debug, run this one. So that's also fine. If in that case you don't need to worry about this, you can just use this Maven run to start the JavaFX application, right? But uh, if you like to use this debug here, you need to set up the run from this section, right? So look at the configuration here. We have the Java virtual machine. This main file needs to be set up. But you realize this kind of setup is depend on your local environment. If you build a project shared on the GitHub, so this information should not be shared there, right? So that is the reason why we don't put that into this workspace, because we want to put the workspace into the don't want the workspace into our GitHub part, right? But workspace probably already there, right? So we need to move workspace from the GitHub, right? So the first thing we need to do is we probably look at this slide here to explain. Right, we need to run the GitHub remove cached. Okay, we need to run this function. Git. Let me see. I need to check if the spelling is correct. C-H-E-D. C-H-E-D. Uh, .xml. Right, we need to remove this workspace. Okay. ID work. Okay. Workspace. Cached. Okay, they're probably not in there. Git add dot git. First commit. Okay, right. So, okay, I understand because this workspace, because we have added into the git ignore already, so this one is not managed by the git repository already, right? Look at the color, so this is not met here, but this file is controlled by them. Okay, so now this file is on the Git repository, and if we like, we can push this to the GitHub. and also shared with other people. If you look at this file, right, and also you look at this library, see, so they definitely hold the local information, right? Hold the local information. That's why we should not put this into the GitHub. The reason is hold the local environment. So definitely, if you run this project on different computer, they may not consistent, right? So that we cannot push that. Okay, so that's for here. Look at the part. Okay, so this is this part, right? I have to remove this, right? Okay. Now we look at the other exercise 3, 4, and 5. So for this exercise, I have already created the solution here. You probably just come here to check. You can use. It's better for you to try to solve the problem by yourself and then compare with the solution provided here, and also help you to study. The first exercise is look at this original requirement and see what defect they may have, right? So look at the first one. The security alarm has a detector that sends a trip signal when motion is detected. Okay, for this requirement, does not specify where the trip signal is sent, right? It's send the trip signal, okay, to this. And also the missing precondition does not state the alarm status, right? So the security alarm has a detector that send this when motion is detected. So this alarm, originally what's the status of the security alarm is, it doesn't mention, right? So that is incomplete. Okay, and also look at this defect R4 and R5. If a triple signal occurs with a security alarm set, a high-pitched tone is emitted, right? And this one, R5, a 3-digit code must be entered to turn off the alarm tone, right? So this alarm tone and high pitched tone, are they the same or not the same, right? So it's not clear. Probably we can think they're probably the same, but if for people who are not familiar to this one, they may think they are different things. So that means there's ambiguity, right? Or inconsistency. So for this kind of requirement specification, better we stick on the same terminology. If we use alarm tone, we always use alarm tone, right? Rather than here, because this is try to avoid inconsistency and not reduce ambiguity, right? And look at the others. R2 incompleteness does not specify what happens if the Satan is pressed again, right? So the security alarm is activated by press the set button, right? So this also missing the precondition. Activate. So what's the precondition, right? Okay, so some usually for this have this problem. So this just lists all the defects we discovered from here, but maybe you can find more. But this exercise help you to find out what is the problem with the requirement. And the exercise 5 is try to rewritten the requirement, right? So we look at R1, so the new requirement R1, right? Let's combine the original requirement R1 and R4. So the precondition the security alarm is set, and the event is motion is detected by the detector, right? So when the security alarm is set, if this happens, the motion is detected by the detector, and the post communication is a trip signal is sent to here the security center or internal alarm controller, right? So here is something we assume because they not mentioned in the original requirement, so we assume this trip signal is sent there, and the alarm tone sound, right? So we have the alarm tone. Okay, here to the alarm sound. So this is post condition. So this requirement come from original R1 and R4. We look original R1. The secret alarm has a detector that sends this one when motion detect, and R4, if trip signal occurs where the secret alarm set, the high pitch tone is emitted. So we think this R4 and R1 could be combined together for one requirement. So they share the same precondition, same event, and post condition. They have two post condition, right? So they occurs at the same time. We have the constraint. The trip signal must be sent within 3 seconds now. So this constraint. And similarly, we put this one means because this is assumed, it's not mentioned in the original requirement. We just make the assumption. Similarly, we have new R2 combined with original R2 and R3, right? The security alarm is off or unset. The user press the set button, the security alarm changes to the set status, right? And the set button is eliminated. Okay, so this also the two requirement combined to one. The reason is they share the same precondition, same event, and we use this. Okay, you can check this. And the last exercise is to do the use case diagram. We have the use case, we have the users, security center, so this external part, and also motion, right? Use cases, detect alarm, active alarm, emit alarm. Look here, this one is most important. We look at the use case diagram. For the user, they can deactive alarm, active alarm, right? And for this alarm system, they can detect motion, right? So we put the motion as external part. Also, we use the human figure, so that could be the movement of a stranger, or could be movement by a vehicle and so on. So we have motion, detect this motion, detect, and also active the alarm if they detect this motion. So that's going to send the trip signal, right? Send the trip signal to the security center, right? This could be an external system, but we also use the stick figure to represent that, right? In the use case diagram, always use this kind of stick figure for could be used. Human could be an external system. Okay, to send the signal, they include detect motion, right? And also for the active alarm, it could extend to the detect motion, right? Because if your active alarm, it's possible to detect this one, right? And also the emit alarm tone, they include this one. So only when this happens, this can happen, right? Okay. And the user can also deactivate alarm. So look at the use case diagram. We need to remember we do not include the press button or enter the three digital numbers or clear this one. The reason is those the way to realize these functions. But for the use case diagram, we focus on what the system does, what the system provides service, what kind of service provided by the system, rather than how to provide these services. So we do not include how to active the alarm. We only say the active alarm, right? So that why we do not include something like the press the clear button, because it's just the active alarm, right? But the function is to deactivate alarm. How to deactivate alarm is not necessary to be included in the use case diagram. Okay, so that's all for this week's exercise and lab exercise. And after that, also encourage you to do this lab quizzes, right? You can do the lab quizzes. Let me check how. Probably I just quickly to show the lab quizzes. Change to the student. If you are a student. tried once, we can try again. So every time the question could be different because we have a question bank. Every time they randomly pick up question from the question bank. The final exam we also use the same question bank, right? So that means if you try to practice, help you to do the final exam. Okay, string start anti-code 0 string switch. So this is enhanced switch, right? Enhanced switch status. So code 0. So not this one, not this one comes to default. The message is unknown, right? Unknown, and the message viewed is also unknown, right? Okay, the status, the value of status is also unknown, right? Okay, next. In use case diagram, what does include English indicate? One user's optional, so that's not optional. Include means part of another, like the subroutine, right? Okay, we use this one. Why 0 sum 0 do well the value of sum. Okay. Okay. So with sum. Okay, so do sum 0. Okay. Still 0, right? Plus become 1 and y to skip break, right? To break. Okay. So that means we only have y equals 0, y equals 1, right? And then this should be 1. Okay. Integer nums, there's 2, 4, 6, 8. Sum for n of them, 2, 4, 6, 8. If divided by 4 equals 0, that means 4 and 8. Continue, skip, and only leave 2 and 6, right? 26 sum plus 26, so this should be 8. Okay, this one, so this minus this divided by, so we need to do this first. So it's 4, 15 minus 4 equals 11, right? Minus 4 equals 11. Okay, verb which category cover is of use, UI design and documentation. Easy of use, UI design and documentation, so that means usability, right? Okay, it's usability. Okay, not performance, not support, not reliability, right? Okay, we look. Grade equals B. Feedback switch grade. B good, right? Feedback is good. Okay. This one, x equals to the result. Okay, so this question is a little bit tricky. So plus x, this one need to be calculated first. So it becomes 3. And 12 divided by 3, so the result is 4, right? And the x is 3. So if this divided by x plus plus, if in that case, so that means this divided by x first, right? First, and then the result is 6, and the x also 3. Please pay attention of the difference between plus plus x and x plus plus. Okay, so this is ternary operator, right? Result 3 large 2. That's true, right? Therefore, the value is 5. So this is also ternary operator, right? N equals 12. 12 divided by 2 model 2 is 0, right? If 0 come to this section, okay, this also divided by 4 is 0 divided by 4, right? So this is divisible. So this is divisible by 4. Okay. Okay, this question, look at value equals here. Okay, so there's the loop, next loop, right? Anyway, so that's for these two, right? The internal loop is with I from 0 to 3, so 0, 1, 2, right? Loop 3 times. If equals 5 is break, right? So the break will break out this part. Okay, so for the first loop here, it will not break, right? For the first, it will not break. Therefore, for the first, it's 3, right? It's 3. And so total plus equals total plus v is 3, right? But this 3 times, 3 times to here, so that's 9. For the first round, it's 9. And for the second time, v equals 5, but first here 9, so they still go into ones, right? Go into ones, so that should be 12, right? So need to be tricky to read this part. Oh, I got one wrong. Okay, which one I got wrong? Oh, this one I got wrong. So have a look. Value total 0 should be 10, right? Look, y is 10. It's 3. The value is 3, right? And total plus value. Total plus 3. Okay. This could be wrong. I need to double check if this question is. So maybe I just quickly try this one here. See if this is my mistake or is the question's mistake. Shell. Oh, it's 14. Right. Okay. So sorry for this one. Is 14. Yes, that's correct. It should be 14 because for this 3, the first time wrong, this one is become 9, and the second time wrong with 5. So 9 plus 5 should be 14. Yes, the correct answer should be 14. Here it said 10, so there's a mistake in the question bank. Need to be fixed. Sorry about that. Anyway, so this is exercise for you to get familiar to the Java programming, right? And also going this. Okay, hopefully you can practice this. And if you identify any mistakes in the question bank, please tell me. I will try to fix that. All right, thank you very much. So that's the end for this week's lab exercise. I hopefully it's helpful. Bye bye.